Okay, so we proceed to major losses in pipes. So we are to deal with the head losses of long pipes. So pag sinabi natin long pipes, so 100 meters or 50 meters, basta medyo considerable na mahaba na yung pipe, we are to use the major loss formula for pipes. So we have the first one, we have the Darcy-Weisbach. Okay, so for the Darcy-Weisbach formula, they are introducing F. Okay, F yun yung friction factor. Okay, so then yung head loss for Darcy-Weisbach, lagyan na natin siya as a sub F. So you have the formula for the head loss for Darcy-Weisbach formula. Okay, in terms of the velocity, this is the head loss is equal to this is the friction factor multiplied by the ratio of the length over the diameter times the velocity squared over 2g, or that is the velocity head. So if we are to have the formula in terms of the discharge, we have discharge equal to area times velocity. So we have discharge area or cross-sectional area of pipe is the same as pi in terms of the diameter, this squared over 4 times the velocity, or we'll be having the equivalent of the velocity in terms of discharge. We have the velocity is equal to 4 times the discharge divided by pi diameter squared. So sa digit lang natin siya dito, we'll be having, this is now the head loss is now equal to the friction factor multiplied by L over D. This is multiplied by the discharge or the velocity 4q divided by pi this squared. So take note, this is squared. So squared din natin ito ay all over twice of the acceleration due to gravity. Then we have the head loss. If we are to use, for example, kung gagamit tayo ng G is equal to 9.81 meter per second squared, that is for metric. Pwede naman sa English, this is 32.2 feet per second squared. So what will be the equivalent of head loss kapag metric? Okay, so you have to do is simplify. So it's 4 squared over pi squared, that is 16 over pi squared. That is times divided by 2 divided by 9.81. So we'll be having 0.0826 friction factor, the length, that is the discharge squared, divided by, so this is d plus, this is d raised to 1, so 2 squared is 2 raised to 4, this is diameter raised to 5. So this is kapag metric. Okay, this is the formula. Kapag ginamit mo naman yung 32.2 for units, so we having this. So the number, naman siya value is 0.0252 friction factor, the length, the discharge squared, this is the diameter raised to 5. So ito naman yung kapag gumamit tayo ng English units. Yan. So that is for Darcy-Weisbach. So after the Darcy-Weisbach, we have the other major loss formula. We have the Manning's. Okay, so for the Manning's formula, magsimula muna tayo dun kay chassis. Okay, for the chassis formula, meron siyang formula for velocity. That is the velocity is equal to C, the square root of R times the hydraulic slope. So, ang ginawa lang dito ni Manning's is nag-introduce siya dito ng value ng C. So the value of C is the same as for Manning's. That is 1 over the roughness coefficient N Okay, this is the radius raised to 1/6. And yung roughness coefficient, parang ay the same lang, equivalent when it comes to friction factor. So kapag Manning's is roughness coefficient, yeah. And we have yung R naman is the hydraulic radius. Yeah. So yun yung mga parang bagong terms natin. So we have roughness coefficient and hydraulic radius for R. So what is hydraulic radius? Hydraulic radius is equal to area divided by the wetted perimeter. Kapag circular pipe tayo, okay, this is the diameter of the pipe, diameter. So in actual, kapag nag-flow ang liquid or tubig sa pipe, actually meron daw tayong parang air void dito. So meron siyang hangin. Kaya lang, kapag nag-assume tayo or nag-compute is ina-assume na na-occupy yung entire cross-section ng pipe kapag may nag-flow na tubig. So hydraulic radius is area times divided by the wetted perimeter. So ano yung area in terms of the diameter? That is pi d squared divided by 4. That is the area. Ano yung wetted perimeter ng pipe? That is the same as the circumference. In terms of the diameter, pi d. So cancelling pi and yung isang diameter dito. So we having the hydraulic radius is the same as d over 4. That is for a circular section. So mag-substitute tayo ngayon dun sa formula ni Chassis. Ilagay natin yung mga terms na yan. The value of C from Manning's and the equivalent of the hydraulic radius. So from Chassis formula, velocity is equal to C, the square root of the radius S. We have the velocity is the same as C. What is the C for Manning's? That is 1/n R raised to 1/6. Okay, then this is, ito yung value ng C. This is the same as R raised to 1/2, S raised to 1/2. So be having the velocity. Ito yung velocity formula ni Manning's. The velocity is 1/n. Hydraulic radius is 1/6 plus 1/2. The same base. That is the same as the hydraulic radius raised to 2/3. Hydraulic slope raised to 1/2. So this is the velocity formula from Manning's. Ngayon, kung mag-consider tayo ng isang pipeline with a length L, tapos ito yung ating energy grade line. So energy grade line goes down with the direction of the flow. Ito yung head loss. Pero kapag Manning's, ang head loss natin dito is h sub n. Ano ba yung definition ng S or the hydraulic slope? Hydraulic slope is basically rise over run. Yung rise natin dito is the head loss, that is the h sub n, divided by the run is the length. Okay? So hydraulic slope is the rise, yung triangle na to, head loss, run, the length. Then substitute natin dito. And we have the velocities that are equal to 1/n. What is the equivalent of the hydraulic radius for a circular section? That is the same as the diameter. Okay, diameter over 4 raised to 2/3. What is the equivalent of the slope? So yung slope naman is the head loss divided by the length. This is raised to 1/2. So equate natin sa head loss divided by the length. This is raised to 1/2 is now equal to, we have 4 raised to 2/3 times n times the velocity. This is divided by the diameter raised to 2/3. So para mawala yung exponent na to, we are to square both sides of the equation. So we have now the head loss, h sub n is equal to, so this is 2 times 2/3. We have 4 raised to 4/3 n squared times L. Lipat ko lang yung L dito sa kabila. Times the velocity squared divided by the diameter raised to 4/3. So this is the head loss in terms of the velocity for Manning's. So kaya lang sa mga references, sinusunod ito as a decimal. This is 4 raised to 4 over 3. And this is equal to 3496 or pwede siguro 6.35. Usually sa mga formula sa mga books up to decimal places siya. 6.35, roughness coefficient L, the velocity squared divided by diameter raised to 4 over 3. At yung formula ng head loss by Mannings in terms of the velocity. So, paano naman kapag in terms of discharge? So, again, we have the equivalent of velocity is equal to 4 times the discharge divided by pi diameter squared. Yung ginawa ko kanina. All we have to do is substitute this to this one. We have now the head loss. This is the 8 sub n is not equal to, we have 6.35. Roughness coefficient squared, the length. The velocity is 4 times the discharge squared divided by pi diameter squared. Then squared, this is all over the diameter raised to 4 over 3. So we have the equivalent of the roughness, the head loss in terms of the discharge. So it's 16 over pi squared multiplied by 6.35. So doon lalabas yung 10 point. We have 10.29 n squared, the length. The discharge squared divided by the diameter, ano yung exponent ng diameter natin, this is 2 squared, 4 plus 4 over 3. So 4 plus 4 over 3 is 16 over 3. So this is raised to 16 over 3. So ito naman yung head loss in terms of the discharge. So velocity and discharge. Then yung last na nasikat when it comes to head loss is yung Hazen-Williams. For the Hazen-Williams, nag-introduce sila ng pipe constant na parang equivalent din siya ng parang friction factor kay Darcy or the roughness coefficient kay Mannings. So we have the velocity formula. The velocity formula for Hazen-Williams is 0.849 C, hydraulic radius raised to 0.63, hydraulic slope raised to 0.54. So this is the formula of velocity by Hazen-Williams. So again, balikan nyo lang ano ba yung equivalent ng hydraulic radius, ano yung equivalent ng hydraulic slope. So balikan nyo lang yung head loss. Kapag Hazen-Williams, ang ginagamit na symbol for head loss is the 8 sub C. Kay Mannings, 8 sub N. Darcy-Weisbach, 8 sub F. So we have the velocity. The velocity is now equal to 0.849. The value of C. Hydraulic radius is diameter divided by 4 raised to 0.63. Then hydraulic slope is head loss, kaya lang H sub C tayo ngayon, over L raised to 0.54. Ayan, so simplify natin. So we're having 8 sub C, this is divided by the length, this is raised to 0.54, or sa kabila na lang kaya, mas mali yung space. Ay, dito na lang. Okay, so we have, i-read lang natin sa 8 sub C divided by the length, this is raised to 0.54. Para mawala yung 0.54 na yan, okay, raised to 1 over 0.54. Yan, yung reciprocal exponent, that will be the same as 4 raised to 0. That is 4 raised to 0.63 times the velocity, and this is divided by 0.849 C. Okay, the diameter raised to 0.63. So raised to, i-raise natin both sides of the equation to 1 over 0.54. Ayan. So we'll be having the equivalent of h sub c over L. It's na equal to, ano yung value na yan? 4 raised to 0.63 divided by 0.849 raised to 1 over 0.54. This equals 6.824. We have 6.824. Pero parang makikita ko sa libro, parang 6.82 lang. Okay? Or pwede na natin ilipat yung L dito. h sub c, yung L na to, lipat na natin sa kabila. L, the velocity, yung 1 over 0.54, sinimplify na rin yan to decimal, I think, raised to 1.85. Is divided by c raised to 1.85. Diameter, 0.63 over 0.54 is 7 over 6. So this is the formula for head loss by Hazen-William in terms of the velocity. So again, ulitin nyo lang yung equivalent ng velocity is equal to 4 times the discharge divided by pi diameter squared. Substitute lang dito. So we'll be having h sub c is now equal to 6.824. The velocity is 4 times the discharge divided by pi diameter squared. This is raised to 1.85. This is divided by c raised to 1.85. The diameter raised to 7 over 6. Okay then, simplify. We have h sub c is now equal to alright, this now h sub c is equal to 6.824 L. Okay, mangyayari sa value na yan. That will be 4 divided by pi raised to 1.85 times 6.824. Is equal to 10.67 supposedly. This is 10.67 L. The discharge raised to 1.85. This is divided by c raised to 1.85. The diameter, this is d squared times 2, 1.85 plus 7 over 6. Plus 7 over 6. So it will be equal to 4.87. So ito naman yung formula for head loss under Hazen-Williams for in terms of discharge. Alright, so let's have an example. And so let's have an example. So a meter diameter cast iron pipe is 845 meters long and has a head loss of 1.11 meters. So find the discharge capacity of the water. So maghahanap tayo dito ng discharge by using this constants or coefficients. Okay. So in terms of the Hazen-Williams, the Maddings and the Darcy wave-up. So diameter is 1 meter. So we have letter A, that is pipe constant under Hazen-Williams is equal to 130. So we have head loss is equal to h sub c. Ano ba yung formula natin dito? H sub c is equal to 10.67. The length of the pipe, hindi ko natin ilagay yung length dito. Length is equal to 845 meters. Tama ba? Is it 845? Okay, 845 meters. 845 meters long. The discharge is raised to 1.85 divided by c raised to 1.85. The diameter raised to 4.87. So by direct substitution, we can have the discharge. So this is, sabi yung given na head loss is 1.11 equal to 10.67. The length is equal to 845 meters. Discharge raised to 1.85. This is divided by C. 130 raised to 1.85. Diameter is 1 meter raised to 4.87. So let us compute for the discharge. This is equal to 1 point. This is 1.001 cubic meter per second. So yun yung discharge from the Hazen-Williams. So let's try yung next one. We have letter B. For letter B, that is, we have a roughness coefficient 10.013. So ano yung formula ng head loss natin for Mannings? We have that is the h of n equal to 10.29 n squared. The length, the discharge squared is divided by the diameter is to 16 over 3. So we have, again, yung head loss natin dito is h of n. Okay, since Mannings. So that's equal to 1.11, given yan. Equal yun, so 10.29, roughness coefficient is 0.01, 3 squared times 845. Discharge squared, okay, divided by the diameter 1 raised to 16 over 3. So let us compute for the discharge. Okay, so we have a discharge of 0.869 cubic meter per second. Yan. So ito naman yung discharge from Mannings. Then yung last, we have letter C. This is by Darcy-Weisbach. The friction factor equal to 0.01. Okay, 0.014. So the head loss this time, our head loss equal to h sub f. Okay, so we have h of f is equal to 0.0826. Friction factor, the length, the discharge squared divided by the diameter raised to 5. So we substitute, this is 1.11 equal to 0.0826. Friction factor is 0.014. The length is 845. Discharge squared divided by 1 raised to 5. So ano yung discharge kapag Darcy-Weisbach? So that will be equal to 1.066 cubic meter per second. So 1.066 cubic meter per second. So those are the three main formula I think na most popular when it comes to major losses.